Hello and welcome to ABC 10 Plus's special looking at who's who at the California Capitol. I'm Walt Gray. We're breaking down the major players who lead the policy changes that affect your finances and your family. No better place to start than with a man currently grabbing the headlines, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom. As governor of the most populous state in the U.S. and the world's fourth largest economy, Newsom yields a lot of power. He's making the biggest decisions in California. The role is similar to that as President of the United States, as McGeorge School of Law professor Chris Michelli explains.
The governor under our state constitution has a number of jobs, including that he has to provide a state of the state address every year to the legislature. He also oversees the vast executive branch. That includes all of the agencies and departments, boards and commissions. There are some 200 of those that oversee everything from health and human services and the Medi-Cal program to businesses and professions that are regulated, from attorneys and doctors. And of course, the executive branch, helps to enforce the different laws.
But the governor is not the only leader as he works with the legislature to push policies. The legislature split into two houses. The lower house is the Assembly, the upper is the Senate. There are 80 members in the Assembly and 40 in the Senate. Both chambers have leaders of their own. The leader of the Assembly is known as the Assembly Speaker. It is Central California Democrat Robert Rivas, currently serving in that role, elected by his peers in 2023.
That position does everything from determining which committees legislators get to sit on. He or she allocates resources, including, for example, what offices that legislators get in the legislative office building. But most importantly, the Assembly Speaker leads the entire 80-member Assembly. And it also means that whether it's negotiating the budget or determining the ultimate outcome of major pieces of legislation, the Assembly Speaker really wields tremendous power over the state budget as well as legislation that is coming through the lower house of the legislature.
So the leader in the Senate is known as the Senate Pro Tem. Mike McGuire currently holds that role. He has similar responsibilities to the Assembly Speaker, but that has not always been the case.
Historically, in the California Senate, it's the Senate Committee on Rules, a 5-member body, 3 Democrats, 2 Republicans, and always chaired by the Senate President Pro Tempore, is granted all of the power. So however, after COVID, a number of powers that have always been granted to the Speaker were given to the Senate President Pro Tem. In other words, taken away from the 5-member Senate Rules Committee and given to the individual leader.
So another vital part to the legislature is the policy committees. This is where legislation is debated and fine-tuned throughout the course of the year. Each Assembly member or senator is assigned to a number of policy committees, with rare changes happening throughout the year at the discretion of the leaders. When a bill is heard in a policy committee, it's also where the public can make their voices heard by providing public comment. Each committee is led by a chairperson who is typically considered an expert on the policy of the committee that they oversee.
That those chairs are viewed as the policy experts. And so as a part of that, of course, they decide the bills that are going to be heard and how those bills may or may not get changed before they exit their committee.
So, as you know, California is a supermajority state, meaning one political party, in this case Democrats, have an overwhelming number of members in the legislature, making it challenging for Republicans to push any conservative policies. However, as Michelli explains, that doesn't mean they don't have any power. They just have to be more strategic. For example, Republican Minority Leader in the Senate Brian Jones pushed for an audit on the oversight of sexually violent predators, and was able to garner bipartisan support.
And while their numbers generally can't necessarily affect the outcome, when they combine themselves with, for example, the so-called moderate Democrat wings of those parties in the Assembly and Senate, combined, they can often dictate the outcome of legislation either in committee or on the floor.
All right, a lot to think about. We certainly hope this helps shed a little bit of light on the major players in Sacramento. Though we left out the most important player, the voter, it's important to remember, always make your voice heard, whether that's attending a committee, writing our local legislator about issues that affect your community, or, importantly, showing up to the polls every time you have a chance to vote. It's their decisions that help shape the future of California. Until next time, I'm Walt Gray.